How you guys doing? Oh man, as you thought that this would be what no one ever thought. Okay, for the past month or so, I've been doing a lot of research, a lot of inputting, info gathering, and whatnot for a good month and a half. Well, for a good month or so, or whatever, and things just did not add up. I mean, just something did not add up on this part of the shooting. Something, and it leads to this attack on registered law-abiding gun owners, the NRA and Lotion, so on and so forth. And this march that had 800,000 people, and you got to wonder about this new information here. And when I saw it, I was just like, okay, let's read it together here, okay? Now the article that I came across came from HenryMacau.com, and it was reported. Uh, Now, another one, Hog Tied to Gunfire at Parkland High School by Yoichi Chimatsu. Exclusive from rents.com. Now, the article it says that Kevin Hogg is prime suspect in Parkland school shooting. Here is David Hogg and his killer trainer father. The evidence available Thursday, thus far from the Valentine's Day massacre, has been mounted against the Hogg family as undercover accomplices and beneficiaries in the clandestine operation that killed 17 students and teachers. David Hogg has zero right to talk about gun control when his father works for the most murderous part of the assault weapons rifle industry, the killer training program known as Cubic Simulation Systems, a nice name for Murder Inc. version 2. Hogg works for a company that simulates terror attacks among other kinds of firefights. I have just two questions for the Hoggs and the boss at Cubic. Among your assault weapons toting trainees, which one did Parkland? Question mark. Or was the job contracted out to your company reps, the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF? Maybe some Shrumran reservists down at Chabad House? Question mark. The Hoggs are lying hustlers and profiteers from the worst gun violence in the world, from war-torn Iraq to downtown USA. Here it will be shown that the father, Kevin Hogg, and his employer belong on the most wanted suspect list for Parkland school gunshot deaths. American citizens have every right to own guns to protect themselves from the lethal deceptions of the Hoggs. Mother and father of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas students, do not let your students follow these Pied Pipers to their dishonor and destruction. Analyzed further on this essay, the shooting at the Parkland school was done by highly trained professional shooters with an accuracy level far surpassed any weekend warrior and far beyond an amateur like suspect Nicholas Cruz. Parkland shooters, plural, demonstrated their prior training at weapons handling and in technical guidelines from either Kevin Hogg company called Cubic Simulation Systems or one of the few other comparable special ops training programs. One of the promo videos from Cubic Simulation Systems was reposted at rents.com so that any casual viewers are not tagged and tracked by the spooky outfit. The software and visualization package, which trains and recruits to use assault rifles against simulated humans targets on video, are called PRISM. PRISIM, an acronym that I have so failed to decipher. Here's a question for PC liberals: do Black Lives Matter? Not at public prison offers the pleasure of simulated shootings of African American criminals at point blank range. Take note. To one way to hold down the tax burden for building new prisons after clearing the bar with a electronic toy gun, the shooter can then progress to firing live ammunition inside of their village. The model of Ferguson, where novice shooters can open with short barrel shotgun rifles, short barrel assault rifles at dummies, like the ones inside and outside Parkland School. It takes a village of corpse before being awarded a certificate of excellence. As described in Cubic's press release after it won a contract with DePage College in Glen Illinois, for the Suburban Law Enforcement Academy, SLEA, pronounced SLAY. The 66,000 square foot facility called the Homeland Security Training Center includes a 4,500 square foot technical village, some otherwise known as the Ghetto, an indoor two-story replica of the downtown street for using Emerson training for a while in my youth. I grew up in the Bloods gang control area in southwest LA, so this replica would be a home front for me. Cubic equipped the facility with its advanced system architecture for urban live training, assault. Suppose these guys like to kill, consisting of cameras, speakers, smoke generators, high fidelity indoor tracking, and computer-based exercise monitoring on the briefing apps. Cubic uses targeting with ballistic accurate laser mounted on actual weapons to realistic simulate gun battles and to record hits and misses. These are extremely used by the U.S. and foreign military forces for combat training. Got that? Teach. Now you know where he's coming from. This isn't about the lone gunman. It's a massive killing machine. If this is what American citizenry is going to be facing soon, it's time to legalize 30mm Gatling guns for home protection. Now consider the fact that PRISM is the business as usual that puts food on the table in the Hogg's dining room. Therefore, one can conclude that the CNN gun control advocate from the Broward County School District, Rebecca Baldrick, asked Mom, must be packing too. Don't ask, don't tell when it comes to the Hoggs unless you want to end up neck deep in the swill. Okay, little David, we see right through your bullshit game. So preach what you've practiced. Come out and that closet admit you're a con artist, a defrauded so rich people in Hollywood who support gun control. One thing for sure, you owe an apology to Senator Marco Rubio. Now go wash your lying mouth out with soap. Oh yeah. Devil is in the details. I have just 2 questions for the Hoggs and the boss at Cubic. among your assault weapon toting trainees. Which one did Fred Parkland, or was the job contracted out to your company reps with Israeli Defense Force IDF? Maybe some Sherman reservists down at Jabad's house. There's some uncertainty where whodunits after President Barack Obama eliminated the frank rule that American citizens cannot be killed by the CIA. Parkland's job, however, sure bore the hallmarks of an IDF-style raid on Gaza. One pattern that is known as Americans tend to work as a team to cover each other's whereas the Israelis are using their swaggering and acting like uber mensch supermen. When they bullied the Palestinians and gunned down in cold blood, the Israeli minister gets back to cubic simulation systems, who recently promoted Chairman Bradley Feldman as focused on acquiring Israeli military-related high tech to compete in most the U.S. and global security market against his main competitor, Thyssen Training of Germany. Sig Sauer rifles are top of the line, while Israeli Galil firearms have a lot to catch up to do. This is Bradley Feldman. Yes, I did. That's Bradley Feldman. Money at the root of evil. Due to the Pentagon drawn down in Afghanistan, Iraq, defense sector demand for combat training is in decline. Though once the mainstay of revenues for Cubic, the ace in Feldman's hole is the Broward County Sheriff's Department, with the nation's largest police force numbering 6,000 employees and a budget of $730 million. $730 million for the Broward County Sheriff's Department. That's a lot of goddamn money. Nearly $1 billion. The gentrification of South Florida, however, is leading toward an overall decline in violent crime rates in Florida, which is hitting the 50-year low. Miami Vice is not what it used to be. Moving upstream into white-collar crime, aka business as usual, money laundering, casino escort, service porn, and fraud. Therefore, graphic violence committed in Broward County was necessary to the secure sector of the state economy. Cubic in nutshell, and in presto suddenly comes the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School attack for no convincing reason other than Nicholas Cruz's stepmother death by cancer, which would have been investigated had her body had been cremated. Murderous rampage of no apparent cause is similar to the how and why the Sandy Hook elementary shootings happened. Exactly when Senator Joe Lieberman's Department of Homeland Security was in need of dramatic violence in Congress, and outright spending. These mass murders are all about money. Have nothing to do with madness other than insane greed. As for Israeli reservists and even active Israeli military officers, these maggots are now crawling over every college campus in America to imitate students and faculty members who are supporting the BDS boycott diverse section movement against the state of Israel for its atrocious human rights record. Now that's a cause more appropriately for you, David, since you promote BDS still carrying a concealed weapon while donning a yarmulke. You think like a Jew, so act like one. Phony arrest. With raised the question, how is it that Nicholas Cruz was arrested just around the corner from a Chai Center Chabad house of Coral Springs? Rabbi Hershey Bronstein claims that he was monitoring the street After Parkland's shooting, when he noticed the suspect walk past, it seems more likely that the born-again Jewish lad was boarding a Chabad and left some gear there when the rabbi assured him that the fellow Shalom vigilante member, Sheriff Scott Israel, would protect him under custody. So since no Jew would be prosecuted under mafia-like Masera code of unequal justice for all. The other question is, Nicholas Cruz told his host, the Schneeds, that he was not going to attend school. I'm not going to say he probably took an Uber to Parkland, but it was just to deliver a car to his girlfriend who had formerly taken interest in how he get past the lock of the gates or his presence at school. A mistake of identity, mistaken identity, since at least two other male students were accused of being him. Was he actually at the Shabbat Center house all that day, maybe waiting for an after-school party with other students? The problem is the quest of justice. The problem is the quest for justice in Parkland is other than teachers' recollections. Nobody else's word is worth a penny in Broward County, home to a bunch of habitable cheats, something like Clinton's Arkansas and the alligators and the Zika mosquitoes. At Civics 101, as for the confused Parkland students to get back to hitting the books ever since the school board dropped civics class, all young people lacked American history lessons required to comprehend why the founding fathers were so insistent on their citizenry rights to bear arms. I learned it all about the Declaration and Constitution by second grade. Back in school on the wrong side of the tracks in Los Angeles, where we used to give the Pledge of Allegiance every morning. All lives didn't matter or amount to anything back then, but the flag, the anthem, the country did, since there wasn't much else to believe in. All I can recommend, short of a return to traditional education, is for all young people to watch and study The Last of Mohicans to see what happens to ordinary people and local communities when absolute governments control all the firepower. The other salient point is a serious curriculum is to study the role of Hassan mercenaries, King George III, and the House of Rothschilds and Hess to understand why free citizenry and not military contractors should defend the nation. There's no recommended film on the topic out of Hollywood coming soon. Now, there's something that Buckland's kids might be able to comprehend from the early chapter of Star Wars and not the snowflake sequels. Are you so naive to trust the sweet talk of treacherous Senator W. Watson Schultz, Palpatine, and her allies, the merchant of death in the advanced weapons industry, churning out droids and soon the clones? Can you not see what science fiction is just a figment of out reality? Methinks of the dark side that David is being pulled in by tractor beam of CNN. If you want to be sucked in, like how Anakin Skywalker morphed to Darth Vader, go ahead, but remember, there's ultimate price to be paid on the other side, which makes suffering and death noble by comparison. And that's never to know the meaning of love and It's social app called honor. I mean, it's pretty much that this kid. I mean, this kid's dad is a former FBI agent. Now, I was kind of wondering why the FBI didn't do anything. Why the FBI didn't investigate? Because the dad, Kevin Hogg, he works for Civic Illustration. I mean, just the You know, I mean, just cubic simulation systems, a nice name for Murray version 2. You know, I mean, it's just that no, I mean, it's pretty much that when you look at the dad, how can nobody look at? I mean, Nicholas Fritz was arrested supposedly, but a student, someone said to school that they seen Nick Cruz in a tactical gunman. The word tactical gunman. And a teacher said that they saw someone with tactical gear, the type of armor that protects the face and the whole body. And the kid supposedly hid, but now there's something is not right here. Okay. First, this kid is something's off here. I mean, something is really off here. And if you go to the End of Times Revelation News on YouTube, and something is not right. When I said that they were grooming this kid up for something very sinister, this is it. This is very sinister. I mean, I've been on this for good over a month since the shooting happened, because something is not right. Something is just out. So it's just totally something very, very sinister. I mean, something is really bad that's happening. You know, I mean, just something is just out of nowhere. This kid might be an accomplice to something. I mean, even though he has a right to speak freely on gun control, hey, it's more power to him. But he's been lying the whole entire time. He went after Arby's. Why did he go after Arby's? No, I mean, let's see here. Let's see here. This kid. I mean, going after. I mean, Hogg's mindless minions caught sticking something up. I mean, Hogg's mindless minions caught sticking stick item up their nose. This is the article or the news is from. Let me see here. Let me go back again. This is from henrymacau.com. I'm going to go ahead and share this. Go ahead and share it. And stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. this article really, um, the mom worked for CNN, the dad worked for the FBI. Both are liberal um, criminals. Um, I mean, this is a really insane shit. I mean, come on, I know. Just the idea of this shit. I mean, if you look at it like this, okay, I mean, you have to really understand what is happening here. First he got caught in a lie. He wasn't there when it happened. Okay, he wasn't there. He got caught in a lie. He wasn't there when it shouldn't have happened. Somehow he got past the cops, sunk in, locked himself in a closet, literally locked himself in the closet. I mean, shit. Um, I'll go ahead and let me see here. So I mean, it's important that we know what the fuck is going on. I mean, literally going on here. Um, but let me see here. Man, I'm just like shit. This is like really, really confusing here. Really confusing and shit. So, I would say it's if this is true here, I'm just. But if it is, it changes the whole. It completely changes everything. If David Hogg's dad is a prime suspect in his murder of 17 kids, this totally, completely changes every fucking thing. Everything. And I've been looking at this for a good month. And I mean, shit. I mean, what is here? Okay? The articles, everything. I mean, it's now the dad is in the news. Dad is in the news. You know, I mean, David Hogg went after fucking Arby's. Let's get to why he went after Arby's and shit. I mean, come on. What the fuck did Arby's ever do to this little bastard? Let's see. I mean, what did Arby's ever do to this kid? I mean, um, if David Hogg went after Arby's for some dumbass reason, uh, let me see here. I mean, shit. I mean, if this kid, I mean, why did he go after Arby's? He's going after Arby's. Okay, Hogg busted in a huge scam after his nasty spring break. Okay. Okay. Now, let's see here. Let's see here. It's here somewhere. I mean, it's here somewhere.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is the Mundane Matt channel, and the kid to my right here, David Hogg, you know him. A lot of you out there really do not like this kid. And if you look at his face right now, of course, this is from the infamous, speech he gave at the March for Our Lives last week. It's kind of understandable. This kid comes across as a little bit on the smug side, right? He comes across a little bit on the side of really, like, I get where you're coming from, but come on, man, tone back the rhetoric a little bit here. Tone it back. Because this whole week has been very interesting in regards with David Hogg. We're not even talking about the speech he gave at the march. No one's talking about that. People have moved on from the Sieg Heil speech that they were, giving him crap over because he put out the hand like this and, oh my god, the memes. The memes were terrible. But anyway, no one's talking about that anymore because there's been another battle. And that, of course, is dealing with Laura Ingraham and Fox. Well, Laura Ingraham mocked him because he didn't get into UCSD. And that apparently has struck a hell of a nerve. Because a Fox News host criticized him for posting, well, not even criticized, it's mocking. Okay, she used her First Amendment right to mock this kid for not getting into a college. Was it shitty? Yes. Was it petty? Yes. Is it anything inherently bad? No. It wasn't all like, oh, your college career is as dead as your classmates in Parkland. Like, it's nothing as bad as that. If she would have said something like that, then yeah, I totally could understand why people were really going after her advertisers. But somehow this particular comment, this rather mundane, benign comment, was enough to kick off this huge attack on her show sponsors. And as a result, many have pulled out. Hulu pulled out. Was it Rachel Wade's company? One of her NutriFresh, whatever the thing is, they pulled out. Johnson and Johnson pulled out. Right? A lot of people pulled out. And the thing is, though, is David Hogg, he ain't done yet. Right? Everyone pulled out. People pulled out. She's been losing it. She apologized. Granted, she apologized when the advertisers pulled out, which is clearly an indication as to why she did it and a reason as to why she did it. But that's not enough for this kid. This kid feels personally slighted by Laura Ingraham. And I mean, like, personally slighted. Because he may have gone after her a little bit, but he's not done, and he's choosing a very odd target. Now, over here on the Daily Caller, it says, after eviscerating Laura Ingraham's advertisers, David Hogg has a new target, a fast food chain. Gun control activists and Parkland student David Hogg has captured headlines around the country for his calls to boycott Laura Ingraham's show. Hogg specifically targeted advertisers of the show after Ingraham tweeted criticism of student activists and his often vulgar approach to influencing public policy. The boycott had an effect, and Ingraham has since lost multiple advertisers of her show, as David Hogg singled them out and asked his followers to attack them for advertising with the Fox News host. She apologized, but he rebuffed the apology, and the battle continued. That's the thing I don't like about this, is he went and he that's what I don't get about this. Like, yeah, she criticized him. Okay, whatever. He went on this like complete tirade about trying to pull advertisers, and I'm not a person that supports going after advertisers for something like that. You know, like I said, if she would have made a joke like comparing him to like something horrible, like the students at Parkland being dead or something like that, then I could understand that completely. But she didn't, and I'm no fan of Fox News, but I just nothing about this seems right to me. So not only did he do that, he's now going after Arby's of all things. So these are some deleted tweets. He's pulled them down, but obviously you can see he left them up long enough to get a fair amount of attention. So 13 hours ago from the time this was captured, why do you support Ingraham Angle? Then he follows up with what's the beef Arby's, and after that he posts here. He posts here links to all of the to Arby's employees, right? To people who work for Arby's. Now, this information is probably public information, which is why he's able to get his hands on it. And therefore, if it's public information like listed on the public website, then it's not really considered doxing. But at the same time, the hell the Arby's got to do with any of this, man? Like, are you that mad over what she said about you not getting into UCSD? Which, by the way, as a San Diego resident for 15 years, it ain't all it's cracked up to be. Go to SDSU, man. You'll get a lot more attention because it's a party school. I'm sure you're going to want to blow off some steam after all this craziness from the last month and a half and stuff. The point I'm trying to get to here is that this feels like such a crap play on many fronts, right? Like I get Hogg is upset. And it's entirely possible that he is taking out his anger at Fox News on Lauren, right? It's possible that he is, because he did say that I won't accept your apology unless your entire network apologizes for criticizing me and my friends, and that's a bold move. That is. The thing is, though, I don't really think if she hasn't necessarily done it, if she has, I don't follow her show. It's been on at the gym a couple times, and I don't really pay attention. If she hasn't necessarily done it, then I'm just not 100% on board with that particular kind of approach to it, right? I understand Fox has been very critical and very mean, but there are people on Twitter who are not related at all to Fox who have been even freaking meaner, right? And there are people out there now that are just criticizing David Hogg for torpedoing his own movement. And I actually have to agree with them to an extent on that one. And the reason why I do agree with them to an extent has a lot to do with the fact that this kid is taking a serious situation, and this is a very serious situation, and he's attempting to carve it up, not with a scalpel, but with a freaking mallet, all right, or a meat hammer, right, or a chainsaw, just a very blunt, destructive object. What happened in Parkland is terrible. It is. There's no way around it. 17 kids gone. Straw that broke the camel's back in terms of sparking this gun control debate. He's a kid who wants to be a journalist, but is now an activist, and I'm sorry, the two don't go hand in hand. You can't. I don't believe you can do that. I don't. I really don't believe you can do that. But he gets out there and he uses his power. He's using his 15 minutes right now to target a political pundit on Fox for just a banal comment. That was it. Oh, you didn't get into the college you wanted to get into. That's it. You know what I mean? That should not be the straw that broke your back, David. There is a much larger conversation that is happening right now. There's a much larger than you conversation that is happening right now. And going after Arby's, getting your people to go after Arby's, posting their board of directors emails is such a lame freaking thing. It's so stupid. Going after the advertisers of a show where its host mocked you on Twitter is stupid. But I get it. I get David Hogg is angry. I get it. People called him a crisis actor. 2 million plus views on YouTube, #1 on trending. It's got to make the kid feel pretty bad, man, right? How would you feel if you were there and people you knew died, and you were speaking up about it?
He wasn't
those
there.
Out there that were trying to criticize you were like, "You're just a crisis actor." It'd make you feel pretty bad, make you pretty angry. I get that. People make up crap about me all the time too. Stuff that's blatantly not true. Gotta let it roll off your back, man. Then, of course, there's a whole issue involving him and, he wasn't even at the school. His own admission. He wasn't even at the school. He rode there with his camera. Took the spotlight. He wasn't even there. Again, that's proven false. But that's got to go on top of the crisis actor nonsense. There are people out there that are outright trying to discredit this kid every step of the way. And he is playing into their hand very effectively right now. Because I'm going to kind of equate it to the president's first 100 days, so bear with me on this one. The president, the newly elected president, has political capital, but only during that first 100 days. That's generally the cutoff. And if you spend all of your capital on something that doesn't get any kind of thing accomplished, you look like an idiot. You do not come out looking well. And when you are a 17-year-old, an 18-year-old kid, I think he's 18 now, when you're an 18-year-old kid that has been through an utter tragedy, and you find yourself with a megaphone and a platform and 570 some thousand new Twitter followers, you start to feel important. You start to feel like you got power, you got clout, you can change the world. I get that, sir. I do. I understand that. But this is not how you do it. This is not how you succeed in your goal and your mission and your job. Going after Arby's? Come on. Going after Laura Ingram, whatever the hell her name is? Come on. There are bigger fish to fry if you want to take on a giant. Don't take on a Fox pundit. That's not going to get you anywhere. All it's going to do is make you look stupid. Legitimize a criticism against you in some respects, like the more out there criticism against you in some people's eyes, and ultimately harm your movement. I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to leave it with this. David, you are not the king of the castle. You're a cog in a machine. You have to play your part. If you try to get out of that and go above and beyond, and you get too big for your britches, and you try to overstep your station, you're going to find yourself burning all through that capital much faster than you think. And it's not going to end up the way you want it to. Hopefully, you'll sort that shit out and you'll stop acting like an entitled 18-year-old with a whole bunch of new people that are really angry and doing dumb shit. When it comes to this, grow up. You've done a lot of growing up in the last couple weeks. That I'm going to admit. I'll admit that. But slow your roll. Grow up on this. What you just saw was a shorter clip from a longer show. The Russell Podcast airs every Sunday through Thursday night.
He's making a good point. There's always a bigger fish, and I mean, this kid has. I mean, he like the guy says, he has grew up within the last 2 weeks, but everything that he's said and done is beginning to really blow up in his face. And he's trying to capitalize on his power, capitalize on the whole of his 15 minutes of fame. Basically, the media gave him power, a voice to bully people. He went after Laura Engstrom, her sponsors. And that's not how the way to go. Fox News is fucking huge, big. Even though they've been around for 22 years, since 1996. Since 1996. And he went after Arby's, and his people tweeted out the names and emails of people that worked for that works for Arby's. I mean, his heart is in the right place, but he has to grow up. He has to strategize a better, I mean, do a better job, do a better, but not everybody goes to college. Okay, it happens. Okay, it's natural. It happens. Not everybody goes to a college that they wanted to go to, and um, I don't think it was a mock. I think it was more of a sarcasm type tweet. Um, not everybody goes to college. You know, you're a senior throughout your whole life. You wanna you towards the end of your high school years, you have a list of schools, like top 4 or 5 schools that you want to go to or whatever you want to do. And sometimes you may have this pretty good GPA, pretty good uh, score on your SATs and shit. And um, I mean, it's really insane. I mean, really, really insane. Um, he's his heart is in the right place. He has grown up in the last 2 weeks, but the march totally blew up in their face. It blew up, and I mean, the march was just worst thing to do. Like it's just worthless to do. Okay, I mean, this kid has a lot to learn. He needs to grow up. You know, I mean, I mean, people past. I mean, no longer. I mean, they they're not worrying about his Z-Hog type shit that he did at the march. I think it's that he's playing into people's hands. You know, he's letting his emotions get the best of him. So the one thing that he needs to do is do not let his emotions get the best of him, because right now it has. His emotions are beginning to be really his downfall. His Achilles heel is his emotions. You know, it's just that it's pretty much that the movement's dead. It's a phase. It'll die here pretty soon. When he graduates, he could just go on and do what he has to do. He's a journalist wanting to be. He's wanting to be a journalist. He's an activist. I could agree there. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You know, you want to be a journalist, but you're an activist. Doesn't really work that way, pretty much. You know, you have to understand that, you know, a lot of questions surround this. His dad and the company that he works for, and it basically pretty much changes everything. Um, his dad is in the picture. His dad is in the news to a degree. Civic Illustration, whatever you want to call that company. If this is, it just, you know, I mean, it's pretty much, no, I just got to look at, it needs to be looked at, you know. the Broward County Sheriff, is getting annually $730 million a year in this. What? No, wait. It has like the 730 million. Right. I mean, it's look. Something tells me that the Broward County Sheriff's Department and the FBI are in this shit together, and they needed a Oswald, and it's a question, like, fuck, and it need to be looked at very much, and it need to be looked at right away, as soon as possible, because if the dad is a prime suspect, that means all of this was premeditated. And that means even the kid himself is a prime suspect. The Hogg family is a prime suspect. The mom and the dad and the son. Guilty by association and shit. And you have to understand that what happened was a tragic, terrible, and horrible event. But did Hogg got caught in a lie? He got caught in a lie. He was in this class. Then they said in another interview, this class. Then out of the blue, something like got caught in a lie. Grabbed his camera and his bike, rode 3 miles, and halfway there, he's thinking in his head that hope it's not another mass shooting. See, that there doesn't add up here. I mean, kind of like, then he sneaks past the cops. Sneaks right past. I mean, come on. I mean, you gotta understand, this doesn't add up here. It's his character that's in question. His character is in question. I'm not worried about the whole Zehal crap that he did a couple weeks ago. It's his character now. He went after Lauren Ingram's sponsors. Then he had his people put out the names of employees and employers that worked at Arby's. This kid is out of control. Out of control. If anybody, talks or to this kid, basically try to just expose his ass or tell him what it is, he gets mad. He's the kind of kid that has a temper issue. He can't handle criticism. Can't handle being criticized for his shit. He cannot handle fact. Cannot handle thing. He's exposed, and he's mad. He's to go after people that don't agree with him, or sarcastically tweet about him not going to USSD, well, UCLC, whatever he's going to. But he cannot handle. He cannot handle fact. But when you're 17 years old and you got your Fox, you are asking for to be neutered, my friend. But his dad was it Kenneth Hogg as a prime suspect in the shooting. How? How? Also, rents.com. Ladies and gentlemen, this is this means wide open. Okay, big time. I'm going to close this out and say that this is a good old Grandmaster Evan. Again, this is good old Grandmaster Evan signing off. And if you're new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below, and don't forget to hit the bell for notification. And if you've got this transmission, you are the resistance. Remember, knowledge is free. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. Peace out. Revan out.